it will take us maybe 2 or 3 electoral cycles to totally get rid of it. And as we get there, even the leadership is going to change, because they say leaders are a reflection of the people. So if you have an engaged citizenry who care more about service delivery and about service, then progressively you'll also start ending up with leaders who look like that. You also start voting for such kind of people. But I don't want viewers and people to expect that in 2027 things are going to radically change and we need to be patient. We might, but it is the beginning of change. So if you believe in it, vote that way. But in the next 2-3 election cycles, I can assure you, we are going to really clean out our political system. Government radicalized the young people in 2024, and they radicalized them to the point that right now I rarely meet young people who are not political at all. They suddenly care about politics. And that's a good thing. What I sense happening is they're going to take voters card and they're going to register voters in big numbers, and they are ready to vote. The only thing that is going to affect changes is in the choice candidates who to vote for. Because when I looked at the 2022 elections, the main reason why many young people did not vote was they looked at Raila Odinga and William Ruto, and they felt this cannot be our options. Like surely out of the 50 million of us, this cannot be our options. So many young people opted to stay out, but they have seen the consequences of your staying out. And they're like, okay, so we stayed out, then others went and chose for us and now we are all paying for the consequences. So it does not matter whether you stay out or in, that you have to participate in that decision. So it depends on how we end up with it, especially at the top level, presidential candidates. If we have options that inspire Gen Zs to vote, then you will see a massive voter turnout. So you need a candidate who can inspire them to come out and vote, a candidate who reflects the future. Because a lot of these candidates we carry are constantly talking about the past and referring to, and Gen Zs are saying, guys, you can't talk about a future which most of you will be dead in the next 10, 20 years. You won't even be there to live in that future. You need a candidate who can inspire us into that future. So that will matter. But you also going to see a lot of young people elected at the MC level, at the MP level, because that's also we've seen that's what it happen. If you want a finance bill passed, it's not the president who passes it, it's your members of parliament. So you have to ensure that you have the right member of parliament who will listen to you the day you tell him to reject, and he will not insist on voting the way the president wants. Your MCAs as well. Need to MCAs will listen to you.
We've seen government allies from time to time say the Gen Zs have no agenda. They just went to the street because they want political pushed political fitness behind them. And quite a lot of things have happened because we've seen how this government, William Ruto, is now willing to, or is planning or has been dealing with the Senate. Are you satisfied with how Kenya Kwanza have been dealing with their critics?
So one of the things that when William campaigned on big time was this idea that one, he told us he will disband the special SSU that was formed by the previous administration and was responsible for a lot of execution killings. And I remember even Rigiji at the inauguration saying now that people can make phone calls on WhatsApp without fear that you're being tracked or that someone is listening to you, because this government is not going to kill its people. They will end extrajudicial killings, they will not abduct our people. So they campaigned, and I say William ended it, they campaigned on the platform of ending extrajudicial killings, adherence to the rule of law, and police independence, yeah, and judicial independence, right? And they said you will not interfere with the police, you will not interfere with the judiciary. Then again, in 2024, when young people start dissenting and they start voicing and saying they will appoint opinion to it, the response of the government was, in fact, we started in 2024, we started in 2023, when Azimio went out to the low cost of living protest, and you had over 70 people killed during those protests. And then in 2024, when the Gen Z took it away from Azimio and said, we are going to do this, you had more than 100 people killed on that day. Then proceeded, then you had more people have died. In 2025 and 23, there was a somebody again had violence. So you had a government who, with one mouth campaigning for this freedom of expression and extrajudicial killings, and then the other one went ahead and said they want to shoot, shoot to kill, shoot the leg, whatever shoot you mean, but we're going to use as much violence as possible to ensure that you do not speak out, and we will intimidate you, to silence you. So now they are silencing cartoonists. You cannot just draw in peace, you will be abducted. You cannot just use social media and tweet something in peace, you will be abducted. You cannot show up at a protest. You cannot organize in your own community and organize young people and old people and tell them that we need to do this. So essentially, it is instilled fear in the masses as much as possible. That, and it is the belief that the government is right and that everyone else, the rest of us are wrong. It takes a level of insanity to believe that either as president, that you know what's right for this country, and the rest of us have no idea what we're saying. While we are the ones who gave you the contract, a 5-year contract, to be our leader. So if we are telling you that what you do is wrong, you can't be smarter than all of us combined. So I think how they handled it is you cannot just shoot people. You show up with flags, water bottles, you show up with guns, you show up with military on the streets. Active military, you put them out to the streets. So it's a government that has been besieged, scared of its own people. And that's usually a sign of authoritarianism. When you see a president that barricades himself inside the State House, barricades the road to State House, barricades the road to Parliament, it is a government that's afraid of its own people. But it's also a government that's afraid of accountability. It doesn't want to be held accountable. So there's all the makings of an authoritarian regime that we give ourselves accountable to, looking at how they respond.
Is how the government has been handling the dissenting voices among the reasons why majority of Kenyans are not proud of this government, or there could be other issues making us feel that these are the people we put to office. We never expected this from them.
Of course, I mean, anytime I hear the president and his friends talk about what he's being persecuted because he's Kalenjin and that's lazy thinking. It's just lazy. It's intellectual dishonesty, and it's taking us for fools to imagine that even those of us, so those of us who are not equal against this government, what's our goal? Those who are Kalenjins against this government, what's their problem? Right? If you want to narrow it down to that, then you want to create a narrative that this is purely solving the problem. There are no issues. This government is good at that. It barely itself is in silence. Everything is okay. In fact, but if you look at things that this government and why it's become unpopular on maybe 2 or 3 things. One, it rose to power on account of open government, transparency, accountability, and upholding human rights and the Constitution. That was one of the ways in which it rose to power. He said, I will not persecute politicians who are opposed to me. He said, a government must have an opposition. Otherwise, you have an umbrella of a government to support the president. So he rose on that. And when you rise on that, people hold you accountable. And he even told us his manifesto was quite good. I remember on the day that was announced winner, I said that this will be the most scrutinized president ever. The reason why he will be scrutinized is because he ran an issue-based politics. So he came down machinani, he signed charters with people, he told women this, he told young people this, he told counties that, and we all have the document. So we all know all the things that William has promised. And so we hold him accountable against each and every one of them. So because of that, because that is what he promised, the rest of us, okay, yes, we can do this. That's one of the reasons that everything that he promised, he has done the exact opposite. He has done that 360 degrees. He said he needs an opposition, he has ensured that there's no opposition. He said he's open to criticism, he has ensured that there's no criticism. But number two, it's the cost of living. Because right after he took power, one of the first things that we saw is the cost of fuel went up. With the G2G scandal, which in my opinion is a G2G scandal. You had the edible oil scandal. And so, and then he increased taxes. He increased how much, suddenly there's a housing levy tax. Suddenly there's a you're paying more for your NHIF, they're calling shift, which they basically just branding and remove this with that name. And so you have less money in your pocket. In an economy that is already struggling with unemployment, it means that if one of us is employed, if you are employed, there's a chance that the rest of your family, if you talk secret, they're not employed and that they are depending on your salary. If that salary, you're now paying about 45 to 50% as tax. Because if you take your pay as you earn, you add all the taxes plus the 16% VAT, more than half of your salary is being back to government. Essentially, if you look the other day you were filing my returns, if you look at how much taxes you pay to government for 6 months in a year, you either work for free or you work for the government. Or you work, but your employer pays the government. And then you're only paid for the rest of the 6 months. So we have free labor here, the government has cheap labor. It has made it impossible for investors to come here. Every day you're hearing my new business that's closed. That's the other reason, the economic situation that's made it impossible. But number three is how they live in their own make-believe world. A president who comes and tells you that they have created 400,000 jobs. If we create 400,000 jobs, this economy will feel it. 400,000 people, you absorb them into the job market, the economy will feel it. Because that is 400,000 families that you're talking about. You have a government that, and then if you look at some of them are now involved in what we call military, sending people to the Middle East to become house helps, and they're being sent back to us in boxes. Right? You have a government that is saying it is that housing is the number one problem that we have as a country. And so they will spend as much money as possible to build houses. And then they want us to clap for them because they build houses which we do not want and we will not live in. Houses which we do not know who won contracts to build. Who is supplying the material? You have a government which is telling you that, oh, now shift is okay. Now you can just walk to the hospital and you will be treated. So that for me is the problem. That they live in a make-believe world that everything is okay, and they want the rest of us. It's like mocking our pain and our suffering. It's like when you criticize me, I tell you you're being tribal, criticizing me. So you mock at people, and it makes people angry. It makes people angry because you're not attuned to their suffering and to their pain, and you're not doing anything deliberate. Young people cannot see any deliberate efforts to fix their unemployment issue. Instead, they're being told to go and work as construction workers. They're being told to go and work at the least as house helps. This government has also found politically politically active citizens. The fact that Uhuru was responsible, select that Uhuru was responsible for some extrajudicial killings, and no one held him accountable, does not stop us from holding you accountable when you're responsible for your extrajudicial killings. It is just so happens that at your time, you have a politically active citizen. It's just bad timing for the president.
He took office at the wrong time.
It's just bad timing.